Okay, you guys all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this was the slide where we left last time, and we are about to start from here. The very first line that we have is the test method behavior, execution sequence, and we already talked about the assertions, and we have seen test recording as well, and remaining item we have is debugging, execution, test results, failure. So all the things related with the test. So let's jump into that directly. Well, the script currently is executing on my screen. This one we will be using for debugging purpose. But let some test fail on this screen because this script has one script maintenance ticket. So we will be maintaining this one on real time. Okay, for the sake of demo, we can pick up something else. Okay, let's pick up this one. Okay, first thing that I want to highlight here that the way Apple has designed these test methods are very much following that naming convention. If you will say test ABC and you will say test CD, well, first we know that for the purpose of test method, we should have test as a suffix available before the method name. After that, Apple will consider this as a test method, and other than that, it will simply say this is a normal function. We can make it something that can make Apple confused. Okay, if I will try to make the script execute on the class level, so what Apple will do, Apple will decide random sequence for these methods. But if we will give it 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, and even A, B, C in a sequence, so it will decide by itself that which function should execute first because of the naming convention. So that is why we had to mess up with the function name a little bit. And there are some, the example you are looking on my screen, looking at my screen is the best example that we should always follow. But we have some bad practices examples available as well. Those, well, these examples, those I'm going to show you, was also written by me and Adam as well. But we are getting more and more mature with the scripting, so we are trying to follow the best practices now. So look at this one. This one has only one test method available, and we are calling other methods inside the test method. And this one looks little tiny, so it will be easy to debug when you will get a failure. But there are some very large one. Where were you? Okay, look at this one. Oh, this one is also fine. I spotted few script. Yeah. Last time those I was about to show in this demo. Okay, we can also use this as example. Unless I will find. Okay, let's make it. I don't know where it is going. Okay, here we are. So look at this one. We have single test method available, and that particular test method has so many other methods available. So if your script will fail on that selected method, it will be very hard for you to debug then to find the reason where it failed. And if suppose it will execute on this, it will fail on this one. So all the remaining functions won't execute. So this will be really very much time taking for a developer to debug to find the reason why it broke. But on the other hand, if you will have something similar to that, so what it will do, if that function 5 will fail, it will just skip the function 4 and will start execution from function 5. So this is how it is better than the one example that we saw. And there is one more practice that we have been following in our previous examples. Was okay, what was that? We were just simply doing that. At the end of the test one, we were calling second test method, that in this case that is ABC. And so first test method, and that one very much acceptable, because the test function, or the first function that we have were in that example I'm talking about. Or just give me little time so I can find the right screen for you. It was somewhere in that. Okay, looks like I won't be able to find that in middle of demo. I won't. Okay, what we were doing in that, uh, we were we were checking all the things. Those were in online in very first test method, and then we had child test method available that was verifying same things in offline mode. So we were calling that. We were checking both the things for the single record in online and offline, but for the offline we did not have separate method available. We were calling the simple function in in one of the test method that was related with the same stuff. So it makes sense in that case, but we should always follow the best practice that we have on the screen. And few things those we also should keep in mind. Your test method should be as much smaller as we can write, because it will be easy to track, it will be easy to debug, it will be quick. Because suppose if I will name it something like that, inserting it and adding checking parts. Look how self-explanatory it is now, just because of its name. We have same thing available in here inside the description, but this has a little more quickness in this function, because when that you will see a red icon on that it has been failed, you will just read the function name and you will have quick idea that what just happened, in which area it has been broken. So that was the best practice that we should always follow. As much as a person we can, as much as we can break a single single scenario in multiple test methods, it will be very nice for the person who will be debugging that, who will be finding what was the problem with that. So let's we can find one example here, like this one that I recently wrote. See, I'm doing login with check remember login button, and here we have this function ending. So I can definitely make it smaller just by putting it into a separate function. And for the other one, that is what it is doing, it is checking remember login toggle on settings tab. So I can make it a new function, and whatever name it was, this is how we can make things more precise, more shorter, more smarter. Like, and remember login validation. Okay, we can also make this one smaller just by putting this particular scenario in a single function. What it is checking empty username validation. And what this one is doing, this one is starting from the same screen, but this one is checking empty password validation. And let's make a few tweaks in that. Function test 0203, and of course the good practice that we just recently saw in a previous recording, we can use it here. And one was for the password as well. And so we have simply said that just by declaring it once, we have simply said username text field dot tab, username text field dot type text, and then we are dismissing keypad, and then we are hitting login, and it will show me this alert. So we can end it here for the password. And let me see a few more things. If we will do this, we are checking only password is required field. So in this case, I'm sure that we will have to provide AIM instance URL. Okay, we can also create one for password. Okay, this will possibly end here, so we can create a new function from here. Well, guys, let me know if it looks more hairy, if it looks more direct, more quick. So whatever it is, it should be easily understandable. Okay, what was it? aim aim instance text field dot tag. Well, recently I was introduced with one of the framework, that was robot framework. what it was doing, this is how it was dealing with that stuff. Uh, so it was kind of efficient. So I decided to keep that in mind and try to follow the practice that particular reward framework was following. Okay. So first, what we were doing, we were checking all the validation in a single method. Now, what we just did, we have make them all separated in a separate function. So if something will fail on a screen, you will get very quick idea that where it got failed, where you should directly jump into instead of looking into the code from line 1 to line 38. Then you will see, oh, there was the problem. So by making them precise or shorter, this is the first help that you will get. Okay. Uh, and okay, a few more things. Those we follow as a practice. We always write debug print method name and the stuff that we are trying to test. Like this one, what this one is doing. This one is checking login validation, and specifically what it is doing. It is checking username is required. Login validation, username alert. And at the end of the method, what we do, we say debug print and empty codes, and then we tell the system, or we do this for the sake of our understanding, end of test, whatever it was. So these two lines and these two lines, we just follow that practice to add them before and after, before and at the end of the function. So when you will do the debugging, you will get an idea how useful these are. You will just get an idea by looking at the debugging instruction. Those will be passing through from your eyes. So you will see that, okay, test 2 has been begun, test 3 has been started. So if the test, suppose one example, if you when I see the message that test 3 end of test 03, and after that it has been failed, so I quickly get an idea it must have been failed on test method 3, because I just saw a message that end of test 02, and now it has been failed after that message, so it must have been failed something inside test 03. So this is how you will get an idea when you will be adding these debug messages in that. And what next we can explore in that?
Kamran,
Yeah, sure.
I have a question.
Sure.
Actually, in the code, you have written that in the test 3, you have given the underscore, and while in the other methods, you didn't have given the underscore, test 3 method. So, is there a difference in those?
Well, it might make some difference, but because this one looks like more for the Apple. If I will see from the way test methods behaves, so it looks like this one get higher priority on this one
Right.
because of that hyphen. So it's a good catch, and we should follow the same we should follow the consistent practice in case of single script test methods. So just to not make Apple confused, or not to you as well, because if that was a mistake, so what could have just happened in that test 4 method will execute first, then test 3, and suppose uh, if test 3 result will depend on test 3 result, suppose you are creating a new record in that, so whatever record you will be creating in test 3, suppose you are using same record in test 4, so test 4 will definitely fail, because it will, when it will come to this, if it will first come to this, it will say no record found. While the way you have planned this, it was that test 3 method will create particular record, then test method will use that record. So yeah, we should keep things consistent. Uh, we should keep things smooth as much as we can. So just to get the accurate result, what you are expecting out of that.
Right.
Okay, and one more thing. The example that I just noted here, that test 3 method will create ABC record, and test 4 method will use that ABC record. Try to avoid that, because uh, your two methods will be depending on each other, and there might be more, like suppose if you have test 1 that is creating some record in either in other test method from 2 to 6, you are just manipulating that particular record. So if your test function will fail, so all other functions will also fail, because they will say that no record found, or record was incorrect, or something like this. So try to avoid that. When you will be writing test method, your methods should not be dependent on each other. I mean, not 100% dependent to each other, but definitely uh, some part will be depending on each other. But try to avoid as much as you can. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the debugging stuff. Okay, the script has been executed. Now we can see here. Most of the function has been failed here, but how we can debug this, there is a icon at the top, show report navigator. Look at my cursor, show report navigator. So on show report navigator there is a log, and this log will only display functions which has been failed now. So how we can debug them? First, what I do, I will simply look into this. We'll see for failure if it is on screen inside a single assertion. Okay, there is no failure message on this screen. It means that there must be something with an internal function. So how we can debug this? Let's explore test 03. Okay, first thing that I can see here, it was assertion failure, purchase receive validation class, line number 25. It was assert true, that has been failed, and the message was did not save, receive did not save. Okay, it means that I will have to jump into purchase receive validation class at line 25. Purchase receive validation class, here we have it, and line number 25. It was fail on this assertion. Okay, what we can do here, what it is doing, it is taking expected open receive at index I. Expected open receive. Okay, well, that line is identifying that particular element. It is saying app, it was receiving, it was purchase receive. Okay, was purchase receive. Okay, let me also look into. Okay, it was ACME and PO10. It looks like it has also saved the record. Its record has been disappeared. Okay, we can also take help from the screenshot that Apple generates for us. Okay, it was something wrong on this screen. Okay, what I can do here, I can just check that what this function was doing. It was first tapping on particular vendor, and then it was tapping on particular vendor, and then it was tapping on ACME PO10, and seems like that I don't have that record now available. I can use other instance. Okay, what it did, it tapped on that, it tapped on that, and it after that it was inserting receive and test all values. Okay, what it is in this function, it was taking description as parameter, packing slip value, and packing slip date. Let me check what values we were giving it. So looks like we were giving empty, we were giving nothing to this. We were just take first. Okay, we were doing nothing on this screen. We just came on the screen. This is how we just came on this screen, and I just hit save. So it took me over to this screen. Let me jump back to previous one. Okay, then on this screen, what it is doing, it is, well, believe me, debugging takes very long. So, but this is the only way that can make your script bug free, and this is how you find the bug in that. Okay, in that method, we were not giving any value, we were just hitting save, and after that, we just verified some of the records. Those are available here, and what we did after that, we tap on back button, and then we tapped on, click back. What we are doing now, we are checking purchase receipt, PO invoice count. On this screen, it is 1 now. We were again tapping on same record, and we were checking receive list. See count, okay, and description. Okay, on this screen somewhere we are tapping on description, and after tapping on that, we were typing some values in. It was UC something something. Then we are also giving it a packing slip name, and clear date, yes, no, false. So we are not clearing date. Then we just confirm the values, and after that we tap on packing slip. Then we edited that, and what we did in editing, we just removed the packing slip set to single space, and edited receive description, did not clear the date, also changed the date to something new. Then receive info, and this function must have been saving record. Yes, we are giving it by default parameter that if that action is not equal to none, so it should be something in that. Okay, here we have, if that header dot action is not equal to none, and in this case it was save, so hit save. So we are going to tap save on screen. We'll jump back, and what we did, we are confirming values in here, and Let me check we are making it save or not in that description. Didn't, no, we are not saving it anywhere. Oh, I got it. Well, see, this is the best example that we have got because the problem was this single space. Recently, I remember that this function was failing, but Adam has pointed something that this function is passing, although the date was not getting clear. So how this was happening? So this is happening because of these, because there is a single space available, which means that on the packing slip cell there are two labels available. There are two labels available. One is the empty space and one is a date. So there is a mistake of our framework, the way we are dealing with this. So because if you have any empty label available on a screen, so suppose you set one label set to, well, goes like this. So Apple will consider this as a valid label. If you will, if you will suppose if you are checking that how many labels are available on a particular cell, take an example of this one. You will say that there are two labels available, but actually there are three, because the way Apple has deal with this, and the way Apple has designed that is they deals with a empty label, empty codes, empty label is equal to empty codes, empty double codes. So this is how this function was passing. It was it was it was jumping from the this it was jumping from the value that is single space, in this case is here. So if I will make it empty, see, the date has jumped over to the second level. So we were checking count somewhere and it was passing because of that. Okay, well, we will have to make some modification in our actual purchase receipt class that is actually inserting records in that. So that will be little more confusing and time consuming. So we can jump over to something else that is more clear. And okay, let's jump over to test method 5, what it is doing. Okay, it has been failed here. And purchase receipt validation, line number 31. And record was, let me also see the record number. Was it was again same record. No, we are in 3. It was the next one. Okay, and it was also failing somewhere in purchase receipt validation at line 31. At line 31. Okay, what was that? Expected description not equal to empty. So go into this and check description. Confirm receive info. And how far inserting how far it went. You can see here that first it is dealing with ACMA record, then it is dealing with ABC record. So it will be very hard to identify that on which record it has been failed, because now on the screenshot we are only getting purchase received invoice, purchase received transaction number, but we can make it identify from the purchase receipt part name, that is ABC, so it must have been failed something here. See, um, just uh, just remind the last example that I just told you about the good practice test method. If this one could have been a separate method, so this must have been easy to identify. Okay, there is edit, and it was description where it failed. Edit is here, it means that is there any okay, I think
Well, I remember why this test was failing. It was because the cancel button was also saving the record, also when it shouldn't.
oh
So the assertion was still failing just because it couldn't find the old description.
okay. Well, Asad was executing that one in the regression script, so he found that issue, and we invested a lot of time on that. It was kind of that cancel function was actually tapping on save, so we try to make it not happen by putting so many experiment on that, but it was again doing that. So it looks like that. It is kind of thing that a person should do on Monday morning. Okay. Well. Uh, okay. This looks like a tiny one. We can also look into that. White fail function 7. Again the cancel button. And there is already one bug. There is the bug that we have, that clear button, by tapping on clear is not actually clearing the date. So we have reported that. And okay, now look at this one, what it is saying. The 8th one was failed on UC purchase receive line number 313, and what the screenshot is saying. On this screen, okay, what it was doing, we can also go through that on a device. If first it tapped on ABC, then it tapped on ABC PO3. Here we have. Then it tapped on index 0. Then what it did, it is finalize and disburse receive. Okay, what we have inside finalize and disburse function. First it tapped on done. Okay, there is here. I just tapped on done. Then it checked if the signature block is required. No, that flag is set to no. Then it will directly jump over to this line. Now it will say finalize. Then it will tap on continue. And let's come back to the function. Okay, well, okay, I got the problem. We are checking navigation bar here. That navigation bar, because the action those we perform, done, finalize, and disburse, should have taken me to parts parts view controller, and the way we are checking that parts view controller navigation bar is the old way, the way we used to check, the way Apple used to support. Now what Apple support same thing, but this is how they support this. App.navigation bar parts title is parts should exist. Okay, I'm sure this one should not fail again. At least on this line. Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, but I have already disbursed my record, so that record won't be available on that screen. Well, it might require me to have new data dump available. Well, let's see. I think that record on index 0 won't be available now. Well, okay, it was getting launched. Well, I'm going to launch that particular function on simulator right now, but it is not a best practice. We always try to make things happen on device, but simulator are a little more faster. First, let's launch it. Okay, meanwhile the script is executing, we can definitely jump over to next step with next point that we have. I think we have seen things those are related with this screen, and further we can definitely look into other stuff that when we will be writing one of our sample scripts. Okay, which points are important for QA before to write any test method? There is requirement, test scenarios, test cases, properties of test, best practices, less redundancy, verification, and validation. Okay, we know about the requirement. The way we get the requirement are mockups, and we have some details available on mockups. We get diagram that how navigation will work, what labels we have to put on a screen. And we can also find one example of mockup in here. Okay, this is how we get the requirement. Here we have one of the diagram available which tells us that how these screens are dealing with each other, and we have some screens mockup available. Those are saying that how this scanner will work. It will search on work order description, page description. It will scan on ID like on assignment report. So and so on and so forth. We have all the details available in that. So this is how we get the requirement. We should be very much comfortable with the requirement because most of the time we have seen that QA or developer do not have enough knowledge about the requirement. So that should not be happen because if this will be the case, so we will definitely miss some scenarios. Okay, scenarios that I talked about is the very important one. Okay, we will take a simple example. Suppose you have this screen available, that is login screen. So in order to create some scenarios, what we will have to do first, think like a user, that what a user can do with this screen. So first, what a user can do, this is the very first thing that user can do. User can simply hit login on this screen by not giving any value. So this is one scenario that we can say login without any value. Okay, what other thing user can do? User might mistype his password, mistype his username, or user might, all the things are valid on this screen, but user has mistyped his password. So in this case, you said that mismatch password is the second scenario. Okay, what else what else user can do here? Can mismatch password. What he can do, he can give username, password, but not the URL. We can check empty server URL. And what else? Empty password, empty username. Okay, user with no employee ID. So these are kind of things. This is how we create scenarios. And now what we will do, we will create test cases. So what test cases we can do? Test cases is nothing but a simple steps those we get to a particular scenario completed. Like login without any value, it means that no username, no password, no URL. And what step we can take here? What action we can perform here? We can hit login. We can hit login, and what expected result should be? Empty username but should display. And you can also put actual result here. That could be empty password alert displayed. Is wrong. And what else we can put in here? Pass or fail status. So in this case, what we were doing, we were checking login without any value. So what we did, we gave it no username, no password, no URL. Then we hit login, and what was expected, empty username alert should display. Then what happened actually? Empty password alert displayed. In this case, this will go to fail, and there will be a bug on our Jira board. But if this could have been successfully executed, the status would have been passed. The test cases, those we just wrote in here, we will do the same thing in our script. Here we have that particular screen available. So if I want to check empty username, if I want to write very first scenario in this script, so what I will do, I will just, where is last test method ending? It is here. I will say, is this the same one that we just edited earlier? No, this is not the same one. It was inventory, I think. Yes. Okay. We want to script our first scenario. It is 09. Check the login without any value. It means that relation in value. I will do username text field dot tab and just dismiss keypad. Text field dot text dot tab, sorry, at URL text field. It was starting from aim, so this is how naming convention method. Instance text field dot tab, then click login. So this will simply make this alert appear for me on the screen. And here we have that validation message available. Okay, how further we can enhance this? If that login will be successful, so what will happen? If that login will be successful, what will happen? It will take me to if that login will be successful, it will take me to pick ticket screen. So I can check it here that if app dot navigation. So what I'm doing, I'm checking navigation bar title, pick dot exist. Okay, actually what I can do also here, I can use xct assert false xc xct assert false, and I can simply put is in here. I can also give it a fail message that user logged in case of empty fields. So, and if the condition won't be true, I think it should be true. No, it should be false. Okay, if this condition will appear, so it means that my test should not pass that assertion. Although it should check that particular alert. So this alert is actually, there is also some assertion message available. You can see here. There are some assertions as well. And just to make it what we just saw, end of task 09. Again test. What else we can do with this? Well, we know that when that particular app will launch, these all fields will be empty if in case of fresh. If not, so we will have to delete some values out of that. Okay, well, it looks like stand-up time. Well, there are a few more things. Okay, we can continue it from tomorrow, from here, and or if you guys want me to, we can also continue this from this after the stand-up. So, what do you think about that?
We're going to have, can you hear me, Cameron?
Yes, I can.
Okay. We're going to have, after stand up, we're going to try to have planning today as well.
Okay, well.
So
Okay,
I think we'll probably just continue on Thursday.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.